This is where we hold them. This is where we fight.
You are now listening to Sweep the Rack podcast featuring Brooklyn Rob and Big Mike.
Rob, what's good, homie?
I think October, Mike, is my favorite month of the year, just in general, because one, it starts to cool down here in Arizona. Two, you got baseball playoffs, NFL in full swing, college football prime going on. You have, just so much going on the weekends, and it also a good weekend for bowling. A lot of good bowling stuff going on around here. I know Agent Ong Open is in mid-October. Not bowling this year, but should be cool to be there and on site and do the show from there. But I love October. I think it's one of my favorite months. And then it's like kind of leading up a little bit to the holidays too. So I'm excited about October starting. And it was a big day of football today, yesterday, a lot of good stuff going on. So
You forgot something.
What'd I forget?
It's pumpkin spice time.
Oh, you're a pumpkin spice guy?
No, not at all. I hate that shit. I'm just saying. It's pumpkin spice season. Doesn't everybody love it? I feel like I'm the only one that doesn't like it. You don't like it?
I don't like it. I don't like anything pumpkin.
Okay. Are you a coffee guy? We never had this discussion. Are you a coffee guy? You're a big coffee guy?
I do love coffee.
No pumpkin spice coffee for you, though.
I could do it.
Okay, pumpkin spice latte or something like that.
I could do it because coffee itself, I could do any type of coffee.
All right, well, let me be clear. I'm anti. Okay, I'm anti on all that. So no latte, no pumpkin, no spice. No, thank you. Okay?
Yeah, it's not like I'm going there and like that's gonna be like my first order.
I know, but like if one of your coworkers brought you a pumpkin spice latte in on a cooler October morning, you would accept said pumpkin spice latte and drink it.
I would accept any free outside coffee someone brought to me.
Okay, I would be like, nah, I'm good. Anti. I'm off that. Never had a cup of coffee in my life. Don't like it. So yeah.
Pumpkin shouldn't be in food. It's not even, I don't even know what the point of a pumpkin is. Like,
more for carving, I feel like. No,
I feel like for kids, it's for jack-o'-lanterns and all that.
Some people out there love pumpkin pie.
I mean, I could eat it with some whipped cream if I drench it in whipped cream.
Not either.
Not my first selection when I'm at the grocery store or at a bakery for a pie to bring. Let's just put.
Now, I will say it's also like apple picking season.
Oh,
and apple cider donuts. You could talk me into apple cider anything. You could talk me into. But particularly some apple cider donuts, maybe.
Big Midwest.
Out to Delicious Orchards in Jersey for all my people that know. If you know, you know.
Big Midwest, though, pumpkin. Apple picking. Big in the Midwest. We don't have that around here. Not that I've heard or seen on the West Coast. I feel like it's a very seasonal type of activity
out there. Pick cactuses.
God, it's just people are so happy when it starts getting below 85 here. It's like the happiest time in the state. What's good with you, Mike? What's happening, man? You got your bowl? Did you bowl league this past week? Been busy.
I didn't. I did something I never do. Not only did I not bowl league, I didn't show up without a sub.
Oh, they took the blind, huh?
Yeah, they had to because I got deathly ill on Tuesday, bro. I mean, was on the verge of going to the hospital sick. Okay?
Wow. Like flu?
No, like food poisoning. Okay.
Wow.
So yeah, I had to text my league teammates and say, yo, I hate to do this, but I have to bail. Like I just really became sick and I'm not going to make it. And yeah, I didn't bowl. So I'll be back this week though.
Shame on you, Mike.
I know. No, it is. It is. It's terrible. I deserve that, Nico. The people I'm bowling with are cool though. The people I'm bowling with are cool. Like, and I hate to say this because it sounds so lame, but like, I don't bowl league for the competitive to win the league. Like, I don't really care. I don't care what place we're in. Do I want to bowl well? Yes. Every shot I throw, I'm trying to throw it as best I can. So where we finish is like irrelevant. I'm still trying to bowl the best I can every single shot that I throw, every game I bowl. So like to me, it's more of a personal pride thing of like keeping track of how plus or minus I am set after set than it is about where we are in the standings. And I also feel like if you're bowling good, you're going to be higher in the standings, and if you're bowling bad, you're going to be lower. So like just try and bowl good, and things will work themselves out. But yeah, with that said, really not a big deal to me to have to do that, but it is what it is. Had I had more notice, I probably would have tried to grab somebody, but yeah, won't have that happen again for sure. But
So
it's definitely laid up.
it's funny because you say that, because when I bowl league, and I haven't bowled league in a little bit, I bowled that sport league last year, but I'm the same way you are. I really don't care where we finish, and to a certain extent, I feel like I'm acting a little bit like pretending I care where we because my teammates usually whoever I bowl with want to win.
Yeah, I don't pretend at all. I'll be honest.
I kind of like, oh yeah, we could get here, we could do that, and when I'm leaving, I'm not really interested, and that's why I've never really been a big league bowler. Like the only time I really want to win is when I'm bowling someone I don't like, or someone like who's you want to beat, because like that's a competitive nature in me. But if I'm bowling a team that I don't know or have no like emotional investment in, I don't really care for first, we're in the middle, or last. So that's maybe why I don't bowl league.
Can I make I almost feel that because leagues are so long, if you're constantly obsessed with where you are in the league, it mostly works to your detriment, because there's only going to be a few teams that are really happy with where they're at in the standings at any given time. The rest of the teams probably aren't happy with where they're at, and you still have to show up and bowl that amount of weeks, right? So if you're constantly harping on the standings, it really just becomes like beating the same drum over and over again. If you're not, rising up the standings and having some success in a league, but yeah, I hate to say it. I do. I know it sounds lame, like I said, but I really, that's not how I view league. And I think a part of that has to do with bowling in the sport environment, because like you kind of have to set your own goals. Everybody's goals in that environment are going to be altered and going to be different. Like I feel like in the recreational environment, people's goals are to shoot the highest score that they can. It's 250, 260, 300, whatever it may be. In the sport environment, because it's so much harder, I think everybody kind of has to have more realistic goals, so to speak, for themselves. And a lot of times it becomes about accomplishing those goals or beating those goals as opposed to beating the other team.
Yeah.
So, plus, at this point, when I walk into a league and I see a bunch of Mama Mias and Papa Pias, like my question is, how do you house guys out there that bowl through the multiple house leagues in a week? Like, how do you get up to bowl a Mama Mia or a Papa Pia? Like, how you care about that league? I mean, it's just I don't know. It's
an ego thing.
A little bit.
It's an ego thing. Just kind of think about
Is it a money thing? Is it about winning the money? Is it
sometimes
about being in first place? Is it about I don't know. Like I said, I can't vibe with that mindset. It's hard for me to kind of get into where those people are coming from. I mean, given a different set of circumstances, different, stronger league, better teams, select group of people, blah 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 blah. Okay, all right, I might feel differently about it, but the way things are right now, I cannot vibe with that mindset. I'm sorry, I can't.
I think
Yeah. So, LFG. First of all, please don't donate to us. We're good. We
appreciate it.
don't do this for money.
Mike, hey, hush over there.
But he
Appreciate
asked,
it.
what about side action? Does that not make you try and league? So in the sport league, LFG, there really is no side action. We really only have a card game, which is you get a card for every mark. So it encourages you to fill the frames. There really isn't a lot of side action. But I will say, if I bowled some of these bigger house leagues that have some decent bracket and side bet action, yes, that would very much make me care. That the prospect of being able to walk out with a decent amount of money in my pocket after the night is over, or if I put up a decent amount of money to get in the side action, then yes, I'm definitely going to be motivated to try and bowl well and get that back. But with that comes the frustration of, oh, I bowled a great game and went front 4, 9 pin, solid 10, 4 pin, strikes in between. I shot 2 teen and I lost all my brackets and now I'm frustrated by that. So it's another discussion, but
I think the decline of side action LFG bowling, in my opinion, there's been a huge, from when I was 17, 18, 19 and first getting into adult, right? There's been a huge decline in side action in brackets and pots, at least leagues, right? And I know there's some leagues out there that still have them. And if you do have that type of league in your area, you're very lucky. And I would definitely bowl it. But I'm thinking about a league I would get back into league bowling if a bowling center within a half hour from me, I knew that they had 30 to 50 brackets on a league night. And the shot.
I was just going to ask, what are we talking about, right? Because what are we talking about? And you're talking scratch?
Scratch.
Okay. Well, I can almost say that doesn't really exist.
Not anymore, doesn't
even
exist.
Even the bigger leagues around here, they might be getting 50 brackets total. But maybe there's one league that might get 50 brackets scratch. But
listen, so it's like 30
used to be a regular thing, Rob, right? That's the point you're making.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying, right? So I used to be able to bowl a Tuesday night men's league in Brooklyn. If anybody remembered, in Gil Hodges Lanes, it was a Tuesday night 4-man league, and it was a 36. They filled the whole side of the house, four-man league, and they ran 30. It was 30 to 50 $5 brackets, and they were scratch, and it was. The shot was not a sports shot, but the house itself was very hard because the lanes were beat up old wood lanes. And regardless, and they stripped these old wood lanes maybe once a week. So you could imagine they got tough. I mean, the heads were blowing up and they got a ton of push. The tracks were really, really burnt up. And that's what we used to bowl on, and used to bowl on that. And being maybe 30 to 40 brackets at that age, maybe I was getting backed, or I was, having my teammate, one of the guys, old guys, putting me in the brackets. And, when you're 17, you're 18 and you're bowling, and you could walk out of there and you could make maybe 1,500, 1,000 after your chop. That motivates you to bowl league. And I think back to the situation I'm in now, I would love to be able to go to league and put a couple $100, right? And I'm not even talking $1,000 in brackets for my own, a couple $100 and go in 20 brackets and bowl 650, 700 and have a chance of walking out making $200, $300, $400, $500, right? That would incentivize me to bowl league in a heartbeat. But right now, it doesn't exist. That day and era of league bowling is gone, at least from where I am in my area. And I think from what you're saying, Mike, in the East Coast, that doesn't exist anymore either. There's no scratch brackets.
The whole thing doesn't exist. Not only does the brackets don't exist, but the environment, the scoring environment you described, etc. Shooting 650 and making serious money, that doesn't exist. Then you pile that on top of the handicap issue and the fact that if you want to get in that many brackets, you're probably going to have to dip your toe in the handicap brackets. And that's a whole nother ball of wax with people who were sandbagging and, coming in with averages that aren't legit, and they're getting in the handy. So listen, it's a mess, right? It's a mess. And you're right. That whole era is gone. But yeah, so no, I guess really long story here is no league report from me. Well, no league report for me this week. I'll be back last week. I'll be back this week but we're not going to be on the air next week. So the week after, I will have double league report for everyone.
Cool. We'll look forward to was it 3 games a week or 4 games a week, you both?
3 games a week.
6 games of league action.
Yeah, we'll be bowling on the long and medium patterns. I also have some balls that drilled up waiting for me at the shop. Some people were nice enough to help me out. I'm going to give some feedback on the balls I got once I throw them. And but I can tell you all on the sports stuff, it's not really the balls, it's how you're throwing it. But it helps to have the right balls and good balls, fresh rocks in the hand. So, I'll be bowling on the long medium the next 2 weeks. But, all right, Rob, let's keep it moving. I want to talk about this. I want to go in this direction. You put up an interesting post on our Sweep the Rack Facebook page earlier this week. I think it was you, right? Was it you that put this post up that I'm referring to?
There's only me, yeah.
You want to bring it up, or you want to read it? What do you want to do here? Show
I'll read it. I'll read it from Paradise Lanes. So it actually this post got sent to us, man. I love when people send me, email me, Facebook message me posts like this, because this is stuff that it saves me from blindly having to fish Facebook to get content for discussion on our Facebook. But got me thinking about this whole topic. And so Paradise Lanes posted something on their Facebook page. It said, "Good morning. We realize some are struggling with the shot the past few weeks. If you can be patient, we are working on getting it back to making our bowlers happy. We aren't trying to change it, just trying to make it better, but it is a process. If you have any questions, please come to talk to Lori or Fred." Now, it got me thinking, Mike. In no way do I feel that a bowling alley should ever have to apologize for making the shot different, or people struggling on the shot that they're putting out. As long as there's oil on the lane, right? And as long as it's some sort of decently playable. I mean, if it's a mistake or something and they oil like 15 feet, it's a whole different situation. But what I'm talking here is people that are struggling on a shot that maybe is different, or a little bit change or tweak, right, from the normal walled up house shot that they're bowling in. People should be happy if their bowling center is clean, their AC or heater works, they have good food, friendly staff, good parking, and good lineage for the bowlers, right?
Hey,
and I know Bolero only probably checks maybe 1 or 2 of those boxes, but if you have a bowling alley in your area where it's a locally owned by people, like a proprietor owns it, and you have that in your area, then I think that's great, and I think you need to support that business. But Mike, I know this topic is something that you love to talk about, but in reality, here's the question that I'm going to throw at you: are proprietors incentivized in this day and age to make the lanes as easy as possible, to make bowlers happy, in order to keep leagues open and people showing up and bowling to their leagues?
Incentivized, yes. Required, almost, yes. But should they be obliged? No, not at all. But that's just not the reality. I mean, the reality is that if you don't make them scoreable, people are probably going to leave if there's another option, right? I mean, this post to me is a true reflection of how far we have come on this issue in bowling, right? We are now at a place where the vast majority of bowlers, of league bowlers that bowl in a bowling center, like, what was the name of this place? Paradise Lanes?
Mm-hmm.
Where is it? Do we know where it is? I want to call them up. Can we call them? Can I call? Give me the phone number. I'm going to call them right now while we're live on the air.
What are you going to call them? What are you going to talk to them? What are you going to ask them?
I'm going to admonish them. I'm going to admonish them for apologizing. I'm going to tell them, you shouldn't apologize. Why are you apologizing? What are the people's names in the post? Who is it?
Lori and Fred.
Lori and Fred.
So there's a bunch of different paradise, but I think this one might be Spartanburg, South Carolina.
Well, click the Facebook post. Look up the Facebook post. See where they're at.
Yeah,
I'm
someone
going to
sent.
talk. You do some research. I'm going to talk,
Okay,
right?
okay.
This post reflects where we have come to in the bowling world. Okay. A majority of bowlers that bowl in a bowling center like Paradise Lanes, okay, they expect, they demand that the lanes be made easy and that they have built-in success, if you will. Okay. I mean, how opposite is this of where the game is supposed to be or where it comes from? All right. It's very opposite. Okay. Let's just leave it there. All right. And say that.
Oh, the comments on this post, though, I found the original Facebook page, Mike. The comments is really interesting because you have a lot of people that are like taking our perspective.
Now, Kevin in the chat, what's up, Kev? He says, good on Paradise Lanes for trying to keep their business afloat. Okay, you're right, Kev. I agree. Good, they're doing the right thing. They're doing the right thing. But is it a positive that we're in a place in the bowling community where a change of pattern or a tougher pattern is basically going to get you bowling's equivalent of a bunch of bad Yelp reviews? Okay, where the owners of the place now have to come on and explain why there's all this negativity surrounding their business. I mean, this is not a bad meal that they served up. You know, this is a sport. This is a sport. It's like somebody complaining that a golf course is too hard. Well, you know, I mean, that would be laughed at in the golf community, I feel like. So to me, this post is just another small reflection of how far we've come, on how far this issue has swung in the bowling community in general. I'm glad, Rob, that you're reading the comments, and it seems like a lot of people say, "Hey, don't apologize to people for being late." But Kevin is right, and others in the chat are right. They have to do this. You have to appease the customers. You asked a good question at the beginning of this conversation. I answered it honestly. I think I'm right. The bowling centers have to do this. I mean, it's just a reality of where we're at.
So I got into a little bit of a conversation with George Gohagan. If you don't know George Gohagan, he's a really, really good bowler. Bowls out in Vegas, bowls across the country, has a ton of honor scores, bowls when they're easy, bowls when they're hard, bowls everything. And, you know, we were kind of getting into this conversation about how, like, strikes make people happy. So I'm going to throw this argument out because this is my argument to this, right? Where strikes make people happy and people want to bowl once a week, have fun, and throw strikes and high scores, right? And you're going to get that argument from a lot of people. But here's my argument to that. How many of those same people that are making that argument go play golf with their friends and shoot 100 or 90 or 110 for 18, right? And they're with their friends and they have fun shooting 100, or they have fun shooting these really, really high scores in golf. But bowling is different. Like, why do you have to throw strikes in bowling to have fun when you go play golf and you hack it up on the golf course for 18 holes and you shoot a terrible score? Why aren't people quitting golf if it's similar to that, Mike?
I don't know. I can't answer that.
So my thing is the reason why that is because regardless of how easy a golf course is, golf is still a harder sport because of just the fact that regardless of how the technology is on a golf club and how easy they can make a hole of golf if they wanted to, like, it is still hard to hit a ball straight and far. Okay. So to me, bowling, and you talked about this a while back when we talked about resin and urethane and that whole argument where why didn't the USBC stop this back when it started to really get out of control, right? Back whenever the scores really, really started to increase, right? That's where they screwed up. And I'm not blaming the bowlers. I'm not blaming the proprietors. We're a product of what it is now, right? It's so out of control in the industry, these really high scores. My whole thing is when I bring up the whole point of view of, well, what if the USBC completely banned the house shot? And I mean by that is, if you want to be in a USBC certified league, if you want it to be sanctioned and you want to pay the money and you want to get everything that the USBC you get from a certified USBC league, it has to be on a USBC pattern, meaning like maybe they
tried that already.
No, but I mean,
by the red, white.
No. You're not hearing my argument though. My argument is if a bowling center puts out a house shot, it is not eligible to be USBC sanctioned.
Yeah, but at this point, who cares? Does anybody really care? I think a lot of people would be like, fine, great. I don't want to pay the sanctioning fee anyway.
Probably.
Awesome. You don't give us rings anymore anyway. So,
probably. You know. So here's the thing is that's why the USBC would never do it. And this is a pipe dream for me because the USBC would never do it because their membership would decline, right? It would go right down. It would literally just decline, right? But in a sense, eventually the sport, you're starting to reintroduce integrity into the sport, right? Where meaning like, I use the word integrity, see I throw that in there.
Well, no, honestly, it sounds like where you're going is what I always say in a joking way, which is burn it down. Burn it down and start it over, man. Start it over with the people.
Right, so people say like Kevin says it would be the end of the USBC. I don't necessarily think that. I think what would, and it's such a weird, and I think about this a lot of like, what would happen if eventually USBC just came in and said, you know what? These 12-1 house shots are done. If you're putting out this house shot, we're not gonna sanction all of your 100, 300 games you've thrown this year, and all these 800 series that you're posting on Facebook. Great, awesome. The local house should certify it and sanction it and put it on their wall.
I'm gonna
but the USBC isn't gonna do it.
Okay, let me explain to you what would happen. Right, here's what I think would happen. Those leagues, if we're talking leagues. League bowling. Those leagues would be like good riddance. We don't want to pay your sanctioning anyway. We're out and we're just going to bowl on our own. Okay. Then perhaps, and they've already done this with their league offerings, right? Bolero would turn around and they would try and in some way generate some revenue from that and give people back something for their bowling accomplishments that they bowl in their Bolero leagues, right? In addition to that, if you're talking about like your UBA, travel league, whatever you want to call that section of the league community, right? If you're talking about that piece, then what I think would happen is those individual leagues would then be like, okay, we're going to find a way to recognize our bowlers for their accomplishments regardless of what conditions they're on if the USBC says they won't. So then what you would be left with in terms of membership in the USBC would only be those people who want to compete on the harder conditions, the more challenging conditions. And then I think you get into a discussion about how does what does that mean for changes at the USBC? Like, what does that start to look like? I mean, now because they have so many members and these members are constantly year after year paying membership fees to the USBC, you have a lot of capabilities there. You have the whole campus. You have the IRTC. You have, Chad Murphy, executive director, and his whole crew of people that work with him to make things go. And they host the national tournament and college bowling they're involved in and junior gold. Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know enough about the behind-the-scenes financials of the USBC to know exactly what it would look like if you took away a lot of their membership income. But I know that it would have to radically change what's going on there. I don't think that's a crazy statement at all. So, but I'm okay with that. I would be more than happy to see that happen. I really would. I'd be more than happy to let everybody on the recreational side of the game walk and restart the USBC, where if you are a USBC member and you bowl in a USBC sanctioned league, it is officially certified that that league bowls on non-house conditions. What that means, what the specifics of that are, I don't really know, but it would have to be non-house conditions for sure, and there'd have to be a minimum ratio involved, and it would have to be legit and sanctioned in some way. But you're talking about driving a big base of the USBC away.
Well, I'm talking about putting a stake in the middle of the heart is what I'm trying and what I'm saying. And I'm not trying to kill it.
Like that's what I'm trying to say. It's still going to survive. It's just going to look a lot different. And what does that mean? I don't know. Like, would they still be able to sustain running something like Junior Gold or not? Nationals? Probably not. Maybe they would. It's crazy to me that they run Nationals every year and they put out such tough patterns and all these people show up. So it's like, I that's what I'm saying. There's so many semantics to the whole thing. It's hard to say exactly what it would look like, but I know that it would definitely look different. There's no question about that.
Yeah, and a lot of people, I mean, we've heard some higher up people, bowlers, talk about like burning it down and starting over. And to me, like, if you're gonna burn it down, that's how you burn it down, right? Like, that's how you burn it down. And now you have these bowlers in your league that are like 230 average bowlers, the 225 average. These, we call them the patch pirates. These guys are 300s. They're local legends that are averaging 230, bowling 300 every week. Now they're 300s in their league. Their averages aren't sanctioned, right?
Does that really matter to them? I don't think it does. I think
you don't think that matters to them?
No, I don't think it matters to them. I think they still go around, same outlook, etc. I really don't think the USBC stamping their scores means much to the people that we're talking about.
I don't know, but I do agree with your point, though, that I do find it interesting that they let the league bowlers bowl on these really easy house shot conditions all year, and then when they go to the national tournament, they put out probably as harder patterns than a lot of the pros see on the PBA tour, right? Except for maybe the US Open and the Masters. I would put the USBC team tournament pattern up there with the Masters and how hard that team pattern is, right? I mean, you see pros struggling on it all last year. I mean, you could go through the list of pros that probably didn't bowl 600 on that pattern, right? So, but it's interesting that they do that and they understand that the national tournament needs to be on something really challenging. But the local leagues, they know that they can't afford to lose membership, right? And if they did that, it would cut their membership dramatically.
Yeah, because it's a money thing. I mean, make no mistake about it. Like, it's about income and money. Yeah.
So I'm going to pull this up because David, what's up, David? Plenty of easy kegel patterns House can put out. An easy kegel sport shot is going to still bring down the scores dramatically that people who are bowling on the house pattern their whole lives, who've never seen it. If you put any oil out in the gutter and anything that's not a house shot, the scores are going to drop like dramatically, in my opinion. To you, it might be easier because maybe you have experience bowling on some of the harder sport patterns, but to some of the people that have been bowling on these, like Mike talked about, 3, 4, 5 leagues a week and the same bowling center that are averaging 230, 220, all the honor scores that have never seen a sport shot, they're going to struggle on it. Well, you know what's going to end up happening, though?
Almost anything different, let alone something tougher and different.
So, but here's my reason why I want to do it, Mike. And I want to tell the reason why I want to do it. I don't want to sit here with a match and burn bowling down, okay? There's a method to my madness, okay? Every time, and I've talked about this, and I'm bringing it back up, every time I go to a golf driving range, every driving range I've ever been to in the area, higher populated areas are full. People, and I'm talking Top Golf. I'm talking about real driving ranges. People are swinging the clubs. They're taking lessons. They're trying to get better. They're trying to swing. They're trying to aim better. They're trying to score better, right? You go into a bowling center during the week, in the afternoon, after 4 or 5 p.m. before leagues, and you don't have a full house of people bowling to try to get better. It's mostly either recreation, birthday parties, or people like with their friends having beers, just throwing some games. But it's rare that you would see more than maybe 30 bowlers or even less than that of actual people trying to get better, right? Like practicing, like really trying to get better. If you force people to either sink or swim, meaning like if you remove the house pattern from the sport, right? Let's just say you removed it completely. Now, what's going to happen is you're going to have two types of people. You're going to have the people that are going to quit and say, I'm done. I'm not bowling. I used to average 200. Now I'm averaging 150. And you're going to have the people that are averaging 200 that go to 150 that are now being like, okay, I don't want to stop bowling because I really enjoy it. I'm going to have to learn how to get better. And guess what happens when someone wants to learn how to get better, Mike? They buy lessons. They practice more. So they spend more money in the bowling center. They buy equipment because eventually you're going to have to buy equipment to bowl on sports stuff. Like when you practice and you want to get better as a bowler, it forces you to spend money. Okay? Trust me. When you're trying to compete at, like, let's just say the Ajinong Open, if I wanted to go bowl in 3 weeks, I would have to spend a ton of money in practicing, drill probably 2 to 4 new balls, and maybe go see some people to make sure my swing is right and do all the things that are necessary to be successful in a tournament like that. You're reinvesting into the sport. And then guess what? The bowling alleys, the pro shops, the bowling ball companies, they all reap the rewards of people trying to get better, right? When someone doesn't need to get better and they're averaging 235 and they bowl 3 games a week, they're not practicing. They're maybe drilling a new ball every once in a while, but there's really no reason for them to really, really invest in bowling 25, 50 games a week, buying new balls, practicing, getting coached, lessons. And when there's a demand for that, then more people might start coaching. More pros might start coaching and giving lessons if there's a demand for it. So like it really completely, you burn it down in a sense, but the regeneration of the sport would look a lot different if you got rid of the house shot completely.
Okay. On a related note to this house shot, oh, they're not easy enough. Oh my God, the people complaining they're not easy enough. We had also heard through the grapevine, Rob, that Bolero had made some recent changes to their oil. This came up in the chat of our last episode. A lot of people were mentioning it, and we got some inside info on this. Do you want to speak on it for a minute?
I did. I spoke to somebody higher up at Kegel, and Kegel made Bolero oil. It's 2 types of oil. It's a red and a blue oil. As for the difference between the 2 oils, I'm not going to speak to those specifics because I didn't remember what the Kegel told me. But from what I understand here is that Bolero wanted a essentially more affordable oil to be made, and Kegel wanting to probably keep the Bolero going, right? The account produced an oil that is very similar in a sense, right, to what they're producing for their higher end oil, with probably some changes in the actual like chemical of the oil to lower some of the costs, right? So look, I trust Kegel, okay? If Kegel puts their name behind something, I do trust Kegel. They've never had any reason for us not to trust Kegel. So if they put their name behind the product, I think there needs to be the consumers need to understand that if Kegel's producing it, then there's research behind it. Their company is literally, that's what they do, right? And Kevin, for you calling it a Timu oil from Timu, I don't agree with that because I don't think Kegel would put out an oil that would essentially, I don't know, like be a really, really bad oil and would evaporate and wouldn't be good and all this stuff.
No, it's more like the McDonald's of oil.
No, I wouldn't even say that. I wouldn't even.
No, definitely.
No,
Okay. All right.
no.
So all right. Hold on. We got to think about this now. So what's a company that offers varying brands of their product? Right. Oh, okay. I have a better analogy. Here you go. It's a I'm trying to think of something.
It's like an airline. It's like flying two different airlines.
No, it's not because Kegel's the same company, right? Kegel's the same company. So it's got to be the same company with different levels of brands you can pick from, right? So I'm going to say it's like a car company. Okay. It's like you go to Ford and you can either get the Expedition, right, which is like the top end, or you could get the little Ford Focus, right? That's cheaper. You can drive around in that. So I hear it. I hear that, right?
So from my understanding, the testing of the oil that they did for this Bolero oil didn't have really a lot of performance changes from like a lot of like what they produce of their like high end product for Kegel, right? I think it's just a few maybe chemicals of they changed or they used for the Bolero oil. I do think that if you guys have seen different kind of shots or your ball doing different things in your league the last month in your Boleros, I think the important part of it is to be patient because some of the bone centers, the oil is going to affect differently, and that they're consistently working with the Bolero managers and the GMs to adjust what they need to do to make sure that the conditions are good, right? For the bowlers, kind of what we talked about, right? Making them
make the conditions good for the bowlers, bro.
Got to make them condition for the bowlers, and you got to keep them happy. So I think there's going to be some adjustments, and it's been a really busy month, or it's going to be in a really busy next few months for Kegel, trying to work with all these Bolero centers to make sure that they're doing the oil correctly and they're putting out properly. Bolero, they are buying Kegel oil machines, and they are using Kegel oil machines, and I don't think there's any. I'm not saying that I don't know specifically if it's throughout all of Boleros, but I do know that they do buy those oil machines. And yeah, I mean, you're just going to kind of have to wait and see here the next couple months. I don't have any reasons not to trust Kegel, Mike, that if they think that this oil that they're giving Bolero is not going to really affect a lot of what's going on, and after the adjustments are made, then, I mean, it's just to kind of wait and see. Do I trust Bolero in this whole thing? No. That's a whole different story, because Bolero is the reasons why, I mean, they went to Kegel, I would imagine. And I don't know this wasn't said to me, but I would imagine this is exactly what happened, where Bolero said to Kegel, like, either you make us a cheaper oil, you come down in your price, or we're going somewhere else. And going somewhere else is God knows where else they're going somewhere else, right? You go get oil made from a different company that doesn't specifically do it for like bowling.
Crisco.
Who knows what you get, right?
Get some of that good old Mazzola on the lane.
Yeah. So David writes in the chat. So look, like I said, I didn't want to get into specifics. As he understands it, the blue oil is designed to be low viscosity, low additive oil, transition more smoothly as balls absorb or carry them down lane. The red oil are higher viscosity conditioners. Maybe I might have to use ChatGPT to get the specifics on what that actually means, David, but we appreciate it. Anyway, so yeah, so look,
when it comes to Bolero, it wouldn't surprise me if it came out that they were like mixing the lane oil with water, okay, to get more bang for their buck, and that's why the problems were. I mean, listen, I'm just serious. You can't even make it up at this point. So we're gonna leave it at that. And real
quick, you know what that reminds me of? Does anybody remember the pink slime scare on the fast food meat, the ground beef. So if anybody doesn't know this story, look it up. There was a manufacturer that was doing like the Burger King ground beef, the Wendy's, a lot of the fast food chains. And in order to get more out of their ground beef, they were adding a pink slime chemical. And it actually put the manufacturer out of business. When someone actually videoed it on their phone and then put it on the internet. And that's what I think Bolero could figure out something to do to add something like so they can make sure they get like, so all of a sudden your oil one day is actually like, is a different color. And you're like, what the hell's going on? Why is the oil like purple? You know what I mean? You're like, what is Bolero up to? Why are they trying to cut costs here?
All right, Rob, let's talk quickly just because there's really not a lot to talk about. Literally.
The PBA?
Yeah, let's talk quickly about the PBA awards, right? Because they were handed out last week or announced over the last week and a half. They shout to the media guy for the PBA. He does an excellent job, and he tried to create a little bit of hype around it by putting out some social media posts about who the finalists were and all that. But I think in most cases it was, at least in the Player of the Year case, it was very obvious who was going to win. And there are really no surprises there, and that was E.J. Tackett, right? And this is his third in a row now? Okay.
Is it his third? Why did I think he won one a year before, then didn't win, and then won two? Why is that my gut?
No, it's three in a row, I'm pretty sure. If I'm wrong, somebody correct me.
Okay.
But I'm pretty sure it's a three-peat for Player of the Year. And, as I said last year around this time when he won it back-to-back, he's entering, GOAT territory. Mark Roth, Walter Ray, Belmo, they're Earl. There aren't too many other names on these types of lists. So it's impressive to see. It really is, especially in an era where they're bowling less tournaments than ever. There's less events than there's ever been. You'd think that there'd be perhaps a little more parity in who wins, just because of how little chances they have to go out and win, and statistically speaking, these guys don't win at a huge percentage rate over their careers. And I think bowlers like Belmo and Tackett have had to overcome that in their careers a bit, right? So it's just super impressive to see what he's doing, and I think the question now becomes: is there anyone who's going to step up and challenge him for this throne? I mean, we know who the players are, right? It's Belmo. It's Simo. It's Andrew Anderson. Okay.
Kyle Troop.
It's Kyle Troop. Yes, I would definitely put Kyle Troop's name in that conversation. But are any of those guys that we just mentioned, are they really going to be able to climb the hill and assault what he's doing here? Right? Like you talk about Belmo, he's at a disadvantage to EJ because he's more past his prime than EJ is. Even if Belmo's still in part of his prime, EJ is in a better part of his prime, right? You talk about Simo. He's in the same prime, maybe even an earlier prime of his career than EJ. But he's been dealing with injuries from last year, right? And he has seemed to slow down a little bit at the clip at which he's winning or having those opportunities to win. You talk about a Kyle Troop. He's not winning at the kind of rate that you really need to catch up with EJ or to really stay with him for an award like this. And Andrew Anderson, that's an interesting one to me because he's already won a Player of the Year. He seems to be getting back to that form. If things would have went a little bit differently this year, I think he actually could have clawed it away from EJ out of anybody else that was in the conversation. But yeah, it's tough for me to see that happening.
I don't think anybody is going to be able to beat EJ for a while.
How many are we looking at here?
I mean, he's 33 years old, this kid. He's in his prime. I mean, bowling prime is a lot longer than a lot of other sport primes, right? Physically, I think he's in a perfect physical shape to be a bowler, right? Like he's skinny, takes care of himself. He's he's got a lot of flexibility. I mean, look at his game, right? Like he's not really injured a lot. I've seen him maybe how many times we really talked about him being injured. I think that one time, I think he won when he was injured, actually, one of the titles where he hurt his bicep, remember? But man, I mean, if I'm going to give a chance if I'm going to give anybody who I think who could beat him or top him, to me, it's the only bowler I could probably name is Anthony Simonson. I think Belmo in his prime, I think whole different story. Would have loved to seen Belmo in his prime and EJ in his prime together at the same time, right? Like, and see, that would have been some pretty awesome matches and tournaments, majors to watch them like battle. I think, look, Belmo ain't going away. He'll be around. He'll pop in. He'll still be top 5 bowler in the world. For me, Simo has the physical talent, the knowledge, and the experience to be able to beat Tackett. And I think that we've seen it from Simo, but EJ's pulled away the last couple of years, obviously. And the way the PBA are oiling the lanes, the way the shots are getting put out, everything about what's going on in the sport right now, I don't think anybody's going to come close to EJ probably for a while. And I'm talking maybe probably next. I could see him winning another 2 or 3 player of the years in a row. I could see him going like 4, 5, 6 player years. Honestly, like why wouldn't anybody think otherwise? Now, the only thing that could hurt EJ, there's only one thing that could hurt EJ in this whole topic of conversation, Mike. It's the formats that the PBA decide to put out. Okay, if the PBA decided to go all of their pro tournaments into a best of 5 and best of 7 match play type format, I think then you could start seeing EJ start to lose more than he would, right? Because match play is really sporadic and you could run into the wrong player at the wrong time and you might lose more as if you're EJ than win. If you were in a total pinfall format and you had all those games like they did back in the 70s and 80s, I don't think EJ would ever lose because he's that good. So I don't know what the formats are going to look like. I mean, me and you love best of 7 formats for betting.
Right, it's been a mix, and I agree with you. If that same mix continues, you would expect a similar result.
If they don't change anything, it's going to be – there's no reason to think otherwise.
It's the EJ Tackett show, baby. That's what
It is. And the thing is, when you have a 500-plus rev rate, Mike, and you're as accurate as he is, and you're as good a spare shooter as he is, and it's not like he's even doing it with urethane, Mike.
No,
so, like,
it's impressive.
It is. And we talked about Belmo being the greatest of all time and having all these, majors and coming into like that wall, like we always put him in the top 5 of Mount Rushmore. But Mike, in 10 years, is it going to be like EJ? And when EJ's 43 years old, is it going to be like there's no argument? Nobody's going to even come close to this kid. It could be the greatest of all time.
It's fair. It's a fair point and a good question at the same time. Ryan Barnes wins Rookie of the Year. I'll be honest. I was surprised. I was, because
I said it.
Darren Wong, I think was the
know his name, and you want to look.
I apologize. Darren Wong Say Young or something. Okay. He won a title.
Nico said it. Nico, if you're in the chat.
Rob, please. Rob, please.
See?
What is the measure by which we determine success on the PBA tour? What is it, Rob?
How does
Rob, answer my
vocal.
question.
I don't know.
What
It's
is
titles.
the measure by which we determine success on the PBA tour?
Just look at how you get into Hall of Fame and use that.
It's titles, Rob.
Titles.
Okay?
Yeah.
It's titles. And listen, I understand that Ryan Barnes had an incredible season for a rookie. And can I just say, I got to go off on a tangent here a little bit. The whole rookie thing is a farce anyway.
Yeah, it's not even. It's not
It
even.
is. It's a farce. I almost feel like it's an award they should kind of do away with, because a lot of these quote unquote rookies, whether we're talking either or, they come in with experience anyway. Right. And can I ask a serious question? And I know the answer is going to be, oh, well, he bowled events before. I get that. But how's Tim Foy not a rookie? How's Tim Foy not considered a rookie? I mean, the guy never really bowled a full year on tour, the same way that Ryan Barnes never bowled a full year on tour. And to that end, Darren Ong Wei Sung, he didn't even bowl a full year on tour, and dude came out and won a title. And you're telling me that doesn't deserve Rookie of the Year? He won a title at the World Series, at the pinnacle event of the PBA. I don't know, man.
I know.
feel like it's a little lost. I do.
I honestly, though, and I said this so many times, to me, there's only really one award that I care about, the Player of the Year award. All the other awards is all for show and all for this, and I get it, like Rookie of the Year. I think Rookie of the Year back when the tour was open to everybody and there was no PTQs and you could just sign up and you could bowl, and they had a minimum tournament. Like, I don't know what the eligibility to win Rookie of the Year is, but I know that award back then was a lot harder to win when you had open qualifying on the PBA tour. I think now with the PTQs and some of the tournaments are open, like the World Series. I just don't really matters to me, those awards. The Player of the Year is the one that matters to me.
Nico says yes, the people voting valued bowling the whole year over 1 week. All right, I feel you on that, Nico, but like, how come it doesn't go that way on the Player of the Year award at all? Like, no one's going to vote for the guy who goes second, third, second, fourth, second, third, fifth. They're going to vote for the guy that goes win, 50th, 40th, 30th, win, 55th.
So here's the question.
Win.
I have a question, though. This is a question just everybody, and I'm really legitimately interested in what people say. Listen.
Adam in the chat is saying Tim Foy's been out on tour for more than 10 years. Okay, I understand that, but like full time bowling the whole schedule, I wouldn't say that. So
listen, if somebody bowled,
categorize. It's tough to categorize.
If somebody bowled on tour this year and bowled 3 stops and won 2 majors and a title, and then someone bowled all year and won 1 major and 1 title, who gets Bowler of the Year?
The
2 majors and 1 title from bowling 3 stops?
Of course.
What about if that guy who won 1 major, 1 title, had like 5 top 10 finishes?
I still think it's mostly going to be the person who wins the most.
Okay. That's an interesting I'd like to hear other people's opinions on it. I would specifically like to hear PBA Tour players' opinions on that.
And you know what? Maybe this has changed, and I'm almost sure it has. I might even get some text about this week. But maybe the players themselves don't value somebody winning 1 title as much as they used to. Maybe the players don't value it as much because it could be like, oh, the person had the right condition put out, or oh, they used urethane and had the right look, or like there's a lot of ifs today in the game when people win that I don't feel were there back in the day. I used to feel like winning a PBA title was a stamp. It was like a stamp that you belong at this level. You were good enough to belong at this level. It was a big, big deal. Perhaps that's been devalued. I don't know. Yeah, I'd like to hear from some people in the know on that. You let me know. But all right, Rob, let's give the people what they want. Let's wrap this up.
Let's do it.
You want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. So in the day and age of the social media reel, sometimes you get a reel that comes across your phone that makes you take your hand and put it on your head and be like, what are we doing as content creators? Are we that hit up for content, right? And this reel came across from your friend, the 220 average bowler, where he put a reel out of him throwing a 25-pound bowling ball, Mike.
Interesting.
It was, let's start from the beginning.
It's interesting.
Mike, 25-pound bowling ball. Are we this hit up for content in the bowling world? Kevin's like, it hit like a tank. It was a good strike. The ball didn't have any deflection. I do think that there's something you could really do some damage to the lane and the machine in the back by throwing a 25-pound bowling ball. I think those are probably reasons why that the USBC maxed their weight at 16 pounds for a bowling ball. So I don't know if wherever he threw that bowling ball would be really happy that they were throwing that ball down the lane. But I don't know. I just wasn't a big fan. I thought it was kind of like, oh God, well, what are we doing right now?
Nico,
he's selling all the bowling balls. He's selling all the bowling balls he thought he bought on eBay.
I don't really watch. You know what content I watch from him? I watch the content where he bowls a regional.
Oh, is that a disaster?
No, not always. Not always. He throws a lot of good shots and bowls good at times, but it just really shows you how hard they are. It does. Like, and the guy is not a bad bowler. Like he actually throws it pretty good, and I give him credit. He works on his game pretty seriously.
I love you. Adam Miller called me Francis. France. I'm pretty sure that is that a Pee Wee Herman reference. Let me know if I'm wrong.
No, I think that's a reference from an Army movie with Bill Murray. I forget the name of the movie. What's the name of the movie with Bill Murray? I want to say it was Stripes, right? It was Stripes. Yeah,
that's hilarious. Yeah, no, look, I'm all about the fun videos too, but 25-pound bowling ball, it wasn't even like anything interesting. Like, it just went a lot slower down the lane, and it looked like actually a regular bowling ball hit in the pocket if you had a good reaction. Like, I was waiting for something like more interesting to happen, I guess, is why I was thinking like maybe the ball would go through the lane, or it would wouldn't stop and would just go right through like the curtain. Like, I was waiting for this big like moment of this reel.
Ashes up the machine when it hits in the back, right?
I know, and it just didn't it just was it was a disappointing end, I guess. I was disappointed in it.
Okay.
Yeah.
My worst of the week this week is a simple one, easy one. I hope you all follow me on this. It comes from the Motive Bowling.
You love that page.
I mean, Motive. I'm sorry, you got the best bowler in the world. You got the best young bowler in the world too, Ethan Fiore. You got him too, who finished second in the Player of the Year voting. By the way, very interesting there. That's a name we didn't discuss, but wouldn't surprise me if he came out of nowhere next year and was able to notch one himself, right? But you also have the worst patch pirates in the world. Okay, you got the best bowler in the world, best young bowler in the world, worst patch pirates in the world. Here you go, Jason Druin. I have to give you worst of the week, my guy. Here's his post. You all ready? I hope you all get this. I ain't even comment, Rob. As soon as I read it, just cut. Just cut to the end, okay?
Okay.
What's the trick to drilling these Aspire spare balls? Or am I overthinking this?
Oh, worst of the week never disappoints.
If you didn't get it, my guy, you're seriously overthinking this. Okay.
Yeah, and in case anybody didn't know, the king of the Patch Pirates, Big Mike's king of the Patch Pirates, also now is doing Strictly Motive.
You're right. They got the best bowler in the world, the best young bowler in the world, the worst Patch Pirates, and the king of the Patch Pirates. I mean, that's quite a lineup. Kudos to you, Brett Spangler. Kudos to you, my guy. I give you props, bro. Honestly.
That's hilarious.
No doubt. All right, Rob, final thoughts before we get out of here. Here's my final thought. I want to thank Pete Weber for the entertainment over the weekend. Okay? I want to thank Pete Weber for the entertainment. He had all kinds of comments on the Ryder Cup and the crowd, and he's mad active on social media these days. I don't know what's got into our guy, but I appreciate the content. So, yeah, I want to throw that out.
To that end, my final thought is if anybody didn't see Rory McIlroy and his reaction to I would imagine fans that were heckling him that maybe had a lot to drink because from what I was reading about Bethpage that they were serving beer at 9 a.m., which tends to be a very long day, especially if you're watching golf. And I've always been on the side of entertainment, and I love a good soundbite, right? I do. I love like a lot of drama and controversy and all of that. I think that's what makes sports wonderful. But I wouldn't excuse those behavior of those fans for doing what they were doing to Rory, especially during a serious tournament like the Ryder Cup. I would never want to see someone in the bowling world specifically yelling out at somebody during a backswing or maybe yelling at a wife of a player in the crowd. That's something that I would not get behind. And I think that's just low class. It's not excusable. It's a really bad look. And people need to just, learn how to handle their alcohol, I guess, and stop being such dicks. And I'm surprised that there weren't people getting kicked out or security taking care of it. But I mean, I'm not faulting Rory because I think any of us in that situation would have probably lost to their shit too, to be honest with you.
No doubt. All right, that wraps our show for this week. We appreciate everybody joining us. We appreciate all the comments in the chat. Email us, hit us up, join us on social media. We do most of our conversation on X. He's at BrooklynRob11. I'm at the 215th. Email us at sweeptherack@gmail.com. We love getting the emails from everybody. Get your merch, InsideBowling.com, content creators, Sweep the Rack. Use the code PatchPirate, 15% off. Hit us up. Let us know what's good. We won't be back next week, all right? We're out next week, so don't be looking for a pod. We'll be back in 2 weeks, double league report, and hopefully, like Nico's saying in the chat 20 times, maybe the PBA schedule's out by then. We'll see. Hopefully. Rob, take it easy, and we'll see everybody in 2 weeks.
Later up.
You are now listening to Sweep the Rack podcast featuring Brooklyn Rob and Big Mike.